And now, ladies and gentlemen, from the heart of the Inland Empire, right here in sunny Southern California, it's Robert Cardoza Live, where we talk about politics, money, and you. This is the intersection of business and politics. And now here's your host, Robert Cardoza.
And welcome aboard. I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. You know what? We've got a great show for you today. I hope that you just stand by and listen for it. I want you to know that on today's show, we're going to discuss what's in the news. New legislation, the IRS loses, and I'm going to answer your emails just like I do every single day. On today's show, we have a special segment with John Matthews, Joe Hakos, and myself, and we're going to be talking politics on the Conservative Syndicate simulcast. And then later on in the show, we'll have John Hanson here, that little old wine drinker. He'll be talking to us about food and wine. You don't want to be missing that. John is there. We got a little bit of a late start. We had some technical difficulties. We'll run a little bit long, see if we can't make up for that a little later on. But actually, right now, what I want you to do is to stand by for news. But before that, I want you to know that at 3:07 p.m. Pacific time, it is currently 55 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. Well, you know what? I'm going to encapsulate this news, give you a number of things, and then we'll get more in depth on it. These are the 10 things that you need to know for today, Monday. Your daily look at late breaking news, upcoming events, and the stories that'll be talked about all day today, Monday, and probably tomorrow. First up, what all the candidates agree on in Iowa. You know, in the White House race, Democrats and Republicans acknowledge that the outcome of Monday night's caucuses will hinge on turnout, so they're making last-ditch pitches to ensure supporters show up. And who may suffer most from Brazil's Zika virus outbreak? Poor women who are pregnant have no option to leave the country and must face the dread that the mosquito-borne illness may cause birth defects in their unborn children or babies. And the Virginia Tech students charged in teen girl's death. 2 Virginia Tech engineering students are arrested in connection with the death of a 13-year-old girl who disappeared last week. And bombings in Syria kill at least 50 people. The triple blasts in Damascus came as a UN meditator attempts to begin a process to end 5 years of civil war. Local residents' armed standoff pits a neighbor against neighbor. It's tearing the community apart, says Bonnie Angleton of Burns, Oregon, the town outside a wildlife refuge where 4 anti-government occupiers with weapons continue to hold out. And where Trump faces the first big test in Iowa, the Iowa caucuses should help show whether the big crowds at the celebrity businessman's rallies will actually show up and vote. And I will never stop hearing those cries. Gulkan Durdu, resident of a coastal resort town in Turkey, recounts hearing the screams of migrants whose boat hit rocks and capsized, causing 37 drownings. Well, California investigates how 3 violent inmates escaped. The fugitives have been recaptured, but officials are trying to determine why they were able to break out of the maximum security prison. And this is the 20th time we buried Abe Vigoda. Comedian Gilbert Gottfried pokes gentle fun at the Godfather and Barney Miller actor's funeral. Vigoda had been falsely reported dead decades ago, leading to a long-running joke. And finally, Cam Newton rocks the zebra stripes on Super Bowl trip. The Carolina Panthers quarterback wears fancy striped trousers overlaid with gold patterns while flying out to the West Coast for next week's NFL championship. Well, you know what? That kind of gets us in the encapsulated news. Let's talk about things a little bit more in depth right now. But we're going to, you know what? Like I said, we're running a little bit late. I'm going to try and catch up a little bit. So let's do this. Let's go for our first break, and we'll come back. I'll give you some in-depth news, and then we'll go. And what I'll probably wind up doing is running later on the show because we got a late start. So don't go away. We'll be right back with news in specific. We'll get in depth with it. Don't go away.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And we're talking news. Well, the game's on. Iowa caucuses kick off the 2016 presidential election today. After a long year of campaigning, Republican and Democratic presidential candidates face voters for the first time battling in Iowa today for a boost toward the White House, or in many cases, simply a reason to stay in the race. The contests in both parties were tight heading into the evening caucuses. Among Republicans, billionaire Donald Trump appeared to have a slim edge over Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Hillary Clinton and Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders were locked in an unexpectedly close Democratic contest, reviving memories of the former Secretary of State's disappointing showing in Iowa 8 years ago. We knocked on 125,000 doors this past weekend, Clinton told NBC's Today Show. Although it's a tight race, a lot of the people who are committed to caucusing for me will be there and standing up for me, and I will do the same for them in the campaign and in the presidency. Sanders, the Vermont senator who has been generating big youthful crowds across the state, urged voters to help him make history with a win in Iowa. We will struggle tonight if the voters' turnout is low. That's a fact, Sanders told volunteers and supporters in Des Moines. Well, we're not going to have long to wait. The whole thing starts at about, the whole thing starts in a couple of hours. Starts at, I shouldn't say that. Actually, the whole thing starts now. We actually started in California at 3:00. It's 5:00 in Iowa. And so my guess is the caucuses have opened, and we'll see what happens probably about 3 hours after that. So we'll see sometime tonight what's actually going on. Well, the WHO declares a global emergency over the Zika virus spread. The WHO is the World Health Organization, by the way, in case you're wondering what I'm doing here. The World Health Organization declared a global emergency over the explosive spread of the Zika virus, which has been linked to birth defects in the Americas, calling it an extraordinary event that poses a public health threat to other parts of the world. The UN agency took the rare step, despite a lack of definitive evidence proving the mosquito-borne virus is causing a surge in babies born with brain defects and abnormally small heads in Brazil and following the 2013-2014 outbreak in French Polynesia. This is just going to be a horrible, horrible thing. Today's emergency meeting of independent experts was called in response to the spike in babies born with a microcephaly I guess it's microcephaly. I'm not sure how you pronounce it, in Brazil since the virus was first found there last year. Officials in French Polynesia also documented a connection between the Zika and neurological complications when the virus was spreading there 2 years ago, at the same time as the dengue fever. Well, you know what? This is something we're certainly all going to have to watch, because this is going to be a tough thing. A bright college teens held in the death of an awesome little girl. Two Virginia Tech students who had bright futures appeared before a judge today in the death of a 7th grade girl who was active in social media and apparently climbed out her bedroom window. Nicole Madison Lovell, 13 years old, was described as an awesome little girl who had a tough life. She survived a liver transplant as a youngster and suffered from bullying at middle school and online, her mother said. Police found her body on Saturday, 4 days after she disappeared. David Eisenhower, 18, is charged with her kidnapping and first-degree murder. Natalie Keepers, 19 years old, is charged with improper disposal of a body and accessory after the fact in the commission of a felony. Police in Blacksburg, Virginia, said they have evidence showing Eisenhower knew the girl before she disappeared, but have not released any details about what led up to her death. You know what? Isn't it sad that the only news we ever get is bad news? That's just kind of where it's at. Amtrak, their engineer recalls opening the throttle before a fatal crash. The last thing Amtrak engineer Brandon Bostian remembers before last May's fatal crash in Philadelphia is pushing the throttle forward to pick up speed and then braking when he felt the train going too fast into a sharp curve, according to a transcript of his interview with federal accident investigators. When he realized the train was about to derail, Bostian said he was holding tightly to the controls and thinking, well, this is it. I'm going over. The transcript was among more than 2,200 pages of documents released today by the National Transportation Safety Board. The documents don't come to any conclusions on the cause of the crash, but offer a glimpse into what investigators have learned so far. Among the most illuminating are two transcripts of interviews Bostian had with investigators, one immediately after the May 12th crash that killed 8 people and injured nearly 200 others, and second in November. That's just a sad thing. These things take a long time for us to find out what the real truth is. Yeah. Well, let me give you one more before we take our next break. It's an escaped inmates fought over killing the taxi driver. 3 inmates planned their escape from a California jail for at least 6 months, then abandoned abducted a taxi driver and drove to Northern California, where 2 of the fugitives argued about killing him, authorities said today. Sheriff's Captain Jeff Holluck also said the inmates were picked up by an accomplice shortly after they escaped on January 22nd from Central Men's Jail in Orange County. Later that day, inmate Hussein Nayeri held a gun on a taxi driver who spent 2 nights with the fugitives in Southern California before they stole a van and drove north, Halleck said. Nayeri and inmate Bak Dong then had a physical fight in the Alameda hotel room over whether to kill the taxi driver, he said. Sheriff's officials believe Nayeri... I hate that. Sheriff's officials believe Nayeri is the one who wanted to kill the driver, Halleck said. Now, don't go away, because when we come back, we're going to do the IRS loses. And the first case up is a minimal discrepancy does not justify a refusal of an installment agreement. And I'll tell you about that right after these brief messages. Please don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
The story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
Oh yeah, here we are, my favorite part of the show, the IRS loses. And as I told you, the first case here is a minimal discrepancy does not justify refusal of an installment agreement. These things just send the hair up on the back of my neck and the chills up and down my spine. I love these things. Let's get to the first one though. Omar Pineda owned a small business and fell behind on his taxes. When the IRS moved to levy on his assets, he requested an installment agreement. Now, an IRS appeals officer required him to file a full statement of business and personal finances to prove that he was compliant with the law and eligible for one. Then found a $175 discrepancy between his accounting and Pineda's tax return and rejected the agreement. He went to court. This is what the judge said. The $175 was de minimis, which means, minimal. It was nothing really. And at trial, the appeals officer couldn't even say what information he wanted to fix the error. So the IRS had abused its discretion in not considering the agreement. By the way, he did get his installment agreement, and it was ordered by the court. So there we go. How about this? The IRS loses. Hiring a spouse makes medical costs tax-free. You're going to love this, especially if you're self-employed. Maureen Speltz operated a licensed daycare center in her home as a proprietorship. Now, her husband, Peter, worked full-time as a machinist from 6 a.m. to 2:15 p.m., then came home and assisted her in the center. She hired him as an employee, giving him an employment contract that included medical benefits. She deducted the benefits that she paid to him, and he took them tax-free. But the IRS objected that the arrangement was a sham. Here's what the tax court said. Maureen had a real business and employment contract terms were reasonable. Peter lived up to them, doing real work that was documented, and the benefit plan met written requirements. So the tax-free benefits are proper. By the way, she not only got to give him those benefits as an employee, but she could give benefits to the employee and their family, of which she happens to be his spouse, right? Which means that her insurance also was going to be covered and tax deductible to the business. That's a good deal if you're self-employed, folks. How about this? The IRS loses. An erroneous private ruling can be relied upon. In 1981, a company obtained IRS approval of its method of computing deductible contributions to its qualified retirement plan in an IRS technical advice memorandum. But in 1996 and 1997, court cases involving other companies held that the method to be illegal. And then in 2005, the IRS examiners asked if the company's deductions taken after the date of the court rulings could be disallowed. Here's what the IRS was holding. The cases involved other taxpayers and were appealable. The specific IRS approval obtained by the company of its actions protects all its deductions claimed until the approval is actually revoked, which it is now on an ongoing basis. But they can't do the other stuff retroactively. Now, you've heard me talk about being a fly in the wall when the IRS is doing stuff. Well, these aren't tax court cases, but these are precedents. If you know about them, you can use them to your advantage. This is a segment we call Inside the IRS. Okay, here we are inside the IRS. The first issue is the most efficient way to obtain a tax-related criminal conviction. You ever think about that? Well, the IRS has figured it out, is to charge a violation of non-payment of payroll taxes or fraudulent preparation of payroll tax returns. Small business owners are especially susceptible to being targeted for criminal prosecution, as these businesses often employ workers who are paid off the books in cash, and other workers who are arbitrarily treated as independent contractors. Now, you've heard us talk about this last Friday with Corey Freeberg when we were talking about inappropriate employee classifications. Anyway, restaurants and contractors employ millions of workers for whom payroll taxes are not paid. Now, the latest development, large employers are being hit. Example, Blackwater Worldwide, which provides security personnel to the United States government in Iraq, is being targeted by Congress for allegedly evading more than $50 million of payroll taxes. I expect the IRS will not be too far behind them. And finally, let's give you this one. An examination of offshore bank accounts gets the IRS attention. We talked about this earlier in the year. The IRS has reported that it is investigating more than 100 taxpayers who may be hiding assets in accounts in Liechtenstein. Now, the Liechtenstein Global Trust Bank is the institution that apparently was complicit in money laundering activities of the targeted taxpayers. How the scheme may have worked? Instead of getting paid for services or for the sale of property, the account holders arranged to have money deposited into an offshore account. The bank issued a credit or debit card permitting account holders to withdraw cash or make purchases. The investment income earned from the asset was not reported on tax returns. Go figure, right? Now, here's the deal. Do not go away, because coming up right after these commercial breaks is going to be John Matthews and Joe Hakos, and the Conservative Syndicate will be doing our simulcast right after these messages. So don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this. The Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, and Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you from the basement of his strategic planning room located at his political hideaway in Los Angeles County, the dedicated man who stands and serves the political conscience of our nation, Mr. John Matthews.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. John will be with us in just a couple of minutes with Joe Hakos and the simulcast that we'll be doing on the Conservative Syndicate, where we pick up a number of his stations and my stations together. But you know what? I want you to know, first of all, that at 3:34 p.m. Pacific Time, it is currently 55 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's gone its way down to 36 degrees, but here's the deal. If you live in New York City, you're listening to us there, it's currently 52 degrees and overcast. And we'll give you some of the other cities that we're dealing with later on in the show: Chicago, Paris, San Diego, Long Beach, whatever. We'll give those to you as best as we can. We're going to have John here with us in about, it should be 20 seconds or so. And we'll be talking about all these things. For those of you that were wondering what was going on with us, we got a late start today. We were having some technical problems. For some reason, we couldn't get the equipment to work properly, so we got about a 3-minute or so late start. So we'll be taking an extra 3 minutes toward the end of the show to try and make up that time so that the stations don't get upset with us for not giving them the full 120 minutes that we promised them contractually. So we'll get that taken care of. In any event, like I say, my good buddy John Matthews will be calling in here any second now, I would think. There he is. And we are with John Matthews and Joe Hakos in the Conservative Syndicate. Hey, guys, how you doing?
All right. How about you?
You know what? I am doing so well that if I was doing any better, I would think I was somebody else.
Okay.
This has been, I have had such a frustrating weekend because of all the, you guys know that I moved and all this technology and all this stuff that's going on. Nothing worked the way it was supposed to work the first 2 or 3 times around the block. But finally got this thing going, and hopefully we'll stop having those kinds of problems. I'm just too old for this kind of stuff.
Well, I like that. Here's the thought. Whenever this happens, just blame net neutrality, and it makes you feel a little.
I was going to blame the Iowa caucuses. I'm so excited. I think when we go off the air is when they get started, right?
That's correct.
I'm really excited to see what's going to happen with this thing because everybody's up in the air. Nobody really knows what's going to go on. All these so-called pundits and political experts and things. None of them have a crystal ball anywhere near as good as yours or mine, or better anyway. And so, time is going to see. We'll see what's going to happen here. I think that. I'm hopeful that Bernie Sanders will do an upset with Hillary, and I think Trump is going to walk away with Iowa. I just think that's going to happen.
Well, I halfway agree with you. What do you think, Joe?
Oh, what do I think?
Yeah, you're Joe, right?
You are thinking, aren't you, Joe?
Okay.
Is it stinking thinking, or are you going to give me some really good stuff?
Okay, you wanted it. So
all right.
I think there's going to be all kind of craziness goes on around up in Iowa. There's going to be cars. There's going to be cops everywhere, and then. I don't know. It's going to be, I think, is this Bernie? They're after Bernie right now, Robert.
Okay.
They're after Bernie.
Well, you know what? That's okay.
Yeah,
actually, what I'm hoping to see is that the FBI will show up at one of the caucuses and put Hillary in some of those silver bracelets that match her outfit and just carry her off.
I ain't no ways tired yet of lying to my people.
I think right now Hillary is bunkered down in some place 3 stories below the surface right now.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they probably did do that to her.
Yeah,
and they should and they should just give her this little toy. Let her play with that.
Wait a minute, Joe. Did you actually do that with your voice, or do you have a sound effect that does that?
Yeah, I'm the Rich Little of internet radio, Bob. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, well, I think at this point, looking it over, we were talking on our show before we came on here. Uh-huh. Everything that we're going through right now, everything that we're going to experience here over the next 4, 5, 6 months is going to pretty much all be for naught come June anyways, unless the establishments on both sides of the aisle get the people they want. If Hillary, it really is looking to me like something has to happen with Hillary and her emails. Yeah. Now, I'm not saying she's going to be indicted, but I do believe that the FBI is going to have to recommend that she is, and that's going to hurt her. That's going to help Sanders. I agree with you. I think Sanders will probably take Iowa, and I'm speculation. I mean, it's anybody's game at this point, but I do disagree that Trump is going to win. I think Trump is going to drop to third. I think. Do
you really? In Iowa?
Yeah, I think Cruz, Rubio,
Bob.
I think Cruz and Rubio will take it from him.
Really? You know what? I'll be surprised if that happens. But what did you say, Joe? I didn't catch what you had said.
Well, I just thought you just stepped out on the ledge there and you were ready to jump from your building or something.
Well, no. You know, it's not that I have any adamant disagreement with you guys. I'm looking at the polls every day. I'm looking at all the interviews. I'm looking at how Trump, no matter what the hell he does, it seems like he's got a silver lining wrapped around it. It's like he can't do anything wrong and not still gain in the polls. I don't know how he's going to lose this.
Well, see, that's the issue. The issue is that there's too much substance put into the polls and not enough into actually what's going on. What the early indicators were, stuff I was looking at this morning, Trump is actually out there in Iowa right now holding rallies, and he's not filling the rooms anymore. They're the half empty and less. We were talking last week. He had that big rally during the Republican debate last week.
Yeah.
Drake University. Room was 700. He booked a room with 700 people, and he did not fill the room, contrary to what the media was saying.
Oh, wow. Because when I was looking at it, it looked like it was packed.
Yeah, well, the cameras can do that.
Yeah.
They do it. They do it with the Clinton campaign. What they do is they curtain off certain sections, or they put the camera, they make sure everybody sits in one part of the room, and then they aim the cameras that way. So it looks like standing room only, but it's not. He overbooked the venue and couldn't fill the room.
Mm.
Yeah, well,
He hurt himself. I think he really hurt himself by not showing up to the debate.
Well, it's interesting though. But by not showing up to the debate the next day, he gained. I forget if it was 5 or 13 points.
Yeah, but the problem with these polls, they're asking 600 people to represent 200,000 people.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, but the one thing I find interesting though let's check this scenario out. If Bernie Sanders defeats Clinton. Mm-hmm. Now, I think that kind of gives them the impetus they need to maybe do what they should be doing to Clinton. That's throw her butt in jail, or at least indict her.
Well, you know what, Joe? I agree with you 100%. I mean, I don't know how she gets away with the stuff she's doing. I was just thinking, and maybe one of you guys, I'm sure, can answer it for me. It just seems to me that if Bernie wins Iowa, New Hampshire ought to be a shoe-in for him because it's right next to Vermont.
Well, it already is a shoe-in for him.
I'm sorry?
It already is a shoe-in for him.
So that means that she, there's a good chance she can lose the first 3 primaries. Is it too late for her to catch up after that?
Well, she's counting on the Super Tuesday primaries down south, but to quote you, by then the FBI should have done something, don't you think? Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that, and that gives the go-ahead order from up in the 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue to go ahead. Loretta, check with the FBI. I think they probably have enough. And now, because Hillary's definitely tanking, we got to do something here. Yeah. But he doesn't want Hillary near his legacy. But I don't believe he wants Bernie Sanders near his legacy either.
I tell you what I believe. I believe that deep down inside, Barack Obama wants Bernie Sanders because that puts his agenda into overdrive. That puts it, let's just go full-blown socialist. That's what Obama's wanted from the get-go. So I think secretly,
but you know what, Joe, John? But even if you could say that same thing about Trump, a lot of the things that Trump believes in are supportive of what Obama has done.
I wonder where we heard that before. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then you look at it from the other side, from the Republican side. I think they would rather have Trump than Cruz. I think Cruz is the anchor. Cruz is the wrench in the works for the Republican Party. Trump can be worked around because he's a deal maker. They can just we just pick up where Obama left off with Trump.
But if they can knock off the negative people and the 1% and 2%ers, and maybe knock off, I'm talking about Cruz now, knock off Rubio. I think Cruz could beat Trump, but unless these guys stop, if they don't fold up their egos and go away and stop splitting the vote, the number 2 and number 3 haven't got a chance of beating Trump.
Well, the big problem we have here when we talk about this kind of stuff is that we stand in a position of thinking that everything is business as usual in terms of politics. We have this process, we go through the process, and we come up with a winner. All that's off the table now. And what I'm thinking, and I truly believe this, come June, we're going to have the first time in history, we're going to have 2 brokered conventions that pick their nominee. Everything we're talking about right now is going to be null and void.
Now, but if they can only have, correct me if I'm wrong because I don't really know, but they can only have a brokered convention if there's not a mandate, right?
Yeah, at the first vote, the first tally, the first round, when they come in and they tally up the votes, if nobody gets the required amount of delegates, then they do another round, but that releases those those people that were assigned that were going to be for a particular candidate, they're no longer tethered to that candidate anymore. They can be free agents, so to speak.
Well, we got a weird system. Let's talk some more about that when we come back from this commercial break, because I know we got to go. But we've got a weird system on that line. I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. So we'll be right back with John and Joe and the Conservative Syndicate right after these brief messages. Don't go away, folks.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios, Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, General Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. And we are back with John Matthews and Joe Hakos. How you doing, guys? You know what? When we left on that commercial break, I was a little bit confused in that, you know, the system we have just seems to be upside down. I don't understand the delegate system and the electoral vote. I just don't understand why the popular vote doesn't win at all.
Well, I think the intention is the design originally was just like the Electoral College, is not to give one, let's say, a precinct that has a larger population than maybe some of the outlying towns, you know, urban versus rural kind of thing. Mm-hmm. I think that's kind of where the concept came of it, is some kind of check and balance. And but what we're seeing here to some degree, I think, you know, when we talk about the Electoral College, and then that kind of relates to the idea of delegates, number of delegates per precinct kind of thing, population versus delegates, is that some of the, you know, you look at like California and New York, that the population is so large that the Electoral College is now an advantage. You know, you put the Democrat out there, if they have California and New York, they've got almost, you know, over a third of what they need to be elected. And so they need, and now they're talking about the possibility, you know, the trends are showing that even maybe Texas is on the verge of turning blue. If that happens, hey, you win 3 states. You know, when you look at the breakdown of 2012 election between Barack Obama and Mitt Romney, mm-hmm. Obama actually only took about a third of the states that were out there, and still won the election because they were the larger states in terms of population. So Electoral College is played into that. So, of course, the argument now is, do we do away with Electoral College and just go by popular vote? I don't know that it would solve the problem.
Well, but why couldn't you have, if you have 50 states, why couldn't you just have, one vote for each state? And have the majority of the population of the voters of that state decide where that one vote's going to go.
Well, they would make sense. I sometimes have entertained the idea of myself. Maybe we need to do that in the House of Representatives. That we don't base the number of representatives on the population. But I'm not in a position. I think at this point in time, I never considered myself in a position to doubt what the founding fathers were trying to accomplish when they set the system up. So I'm kind of like, well, let's stick with it because I don't know of any combination of things that would make it any better.
Yeah, well, and it's not. I'm not faulting the founding fathers because I think they had an insight that was unbelievable. It just seems to me that the system that we have now, guys, can be manipulated so many different ways that we don't really get a fair shake. No matter the people don't get a fair shake, no matter what's going on. The politicians themselves are running what's going on.
Well, that I think that it has mainly to do with the record. The record that we keep playing over and over here at our show at the Conservative Syndicate. Mm-hmm. Reason it is out of balance and the reason it's out of whack is because we, the electorate, have allowed it to become that way. Where, if we were doing our part, the idea behind the Republic is that everybody individually is responsible, and so collectively we get the job done the right way. What's happened here is we have given up we avoid or we have reassigned our responsibility to somebody else without understanding who the person is that we're giving that responsibility to. So what we're doing is sitting here saying, I'm going to trust you to do the job that I'm hiring you to do without ever having interviewed the person.
Well, you know what? And you and I have said this many times. Why on earth should we trust somebody who has proven themselves to be untrustful over the years, and we keep putting them back in Washington, D.C.? This doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, again, I'm starting to refer to it. I think John Gruber was onto something when he said, you look at the stupidity of the American voter. It's hard for me as an American to look at other Americans and say, you know what, you're a bleeping idiot. Yeah. But that seems to be what it is that when people don't want to take upon themselves the responsibility of figuring out who it is they're voting for, we just vote for somebody. That's what the Trump phenomenon is that the guy put an R after his name after years of being a liberal, put an R after his name, and everybody said, oh, he must be a Republican now.
Well, yeah, but that's the same thing Sanders did. He after being a socialist for so long and an independent for so long, he's still not a registered Democrat, but he's running as a Democrat.
But he never denied. Bernie Sanders has never denied who he is.
That's true. That's true. That's absolutely true.
It's funny you say that. I heard that argument today on the radio, and the guy was like explaining Bernie Sanders has as a voting bloc has voted with the Democrats probably more than Tom DeLay, the guy that's ahead of the Democratic Party, the DNC. So he's probably more a Democrat than the actual Democrats.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly one thing if you were to define Bernie Sanders and his political affiliations, it would probably come down as a Democrat because John has said so many times, what is the definition of a Democrat? What's the difference between a Democrat and a socialist? And you can't tell the difference.
And that's the reason why it's scaring the Democratic Party so bad, because they truly don't want to admit it themselves. They look in the mirror and they go, I'm tired of seeing Bernie Sanders in my mirror when I look at myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would take, Joe just said something here, and I would look at it from the opposite perspective. I would say it like this. Bernie Sanders is not more Democrat than the Democrats. The Democrats are just not as socialist as Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, I wonder when it comes right down to it. You know what? I think there's a little bit of treachery or lecherousness in all of us when it comes down to us. We both have a logical position on entitlements, and then that as you get older and you start qualifying for those entitlements, you kind of soften on those positions a little bit.
Well, I don't know. What do you think of that, Joe?
I don't think. I think we're.
Joe, let me just come right out and say it. I'm on Social Security. I get a lot of money from Social Security. I don't want to lose it.
Is that an entitlement?
Well, no, they call it an entitlement.
There you go.
But I'm entitled to it. I paid for it.
Well, you were forced to.
That's right, but it's still my money.
So it's not an entitlement then, is it?
No, but that's what they call it.
Who cares what they call it? What is it actually?
No, it's actually a retirement program that I funded.
Okay, well, here's where, again, we get into the confusion of government intervention. Social Security was designed, and for all intents and purposes, is an entitlement because we pay into it. But all the other stuff that's out there that's called entitlement are not entitlements. They're dependent-based programs. It's redistribution of wealth. So when you say to somebody, they call welfare an entitlement program. No, welfare is not an entitlement program. It's a redistribution program.
You're right, and I can see the distinction, John, when you say it that way, because you actually make really, really good sense there.
Yeah. So if we say, okay, Social Security, the problem with Social Security is that it's in debt. It's on the verge of bankruptcy itself because people are living longer. We're drawing. I go on Social Security this year, so I got my statement. And the amount of money that I put into Social Security, if I only live to spend that money, I'll be dead this time next year. Okay, so if I live another 20 years, I'm going to pull in 5 to 6, 20 times more than what I actually put into the Social Security fund. So that's kind of like, that's like an insurance fund of some sort, where you're going to get dividends and return on your investment kind of thing.
Yeah, but one day we ought to actually talk about this on the show, because it's actually very much more intricate than that. And the reason that Social Security is in trouble is twofold. One, Congress keeps borrowing money from it and don't even pay the interest on it, which has got us in trouble. The other is all the baby boomers are now qualifying for Social Security, and we don't have that many people that are in the working force to pay for it anymore. It's sort of like a Bernie Madoff scam. Yeah, it's a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah, because what we're doing now is they want to take all of our earnings now to put these kids through college so that they become public dependents. And in the process, the money that normally would go into a retirement fund isn't going to go there. So what it really comes down to in a nutshell is using these types of systems not to benefit Americans, but to make everybody dependent in one degree and another on government. Yep. Then who's going to bite the hand that feeds them?
Absolutely. So I'm looking at the clock, and if you got the same clock I've got, it looks like we're out of time.
Yeah, we're out of time here on our side. Also, I appreciate you having us on the show. Just real quick here, just to let everybody know, you can find out about our show at theconservativesyndicate.net. We stream the same time Bob does. That's why we're doing this the way we do now. But just go to our website, theconservativesyndicate.net, and you can find out what you need to know about us.
Hey, terrific show, guys. I look forward to talking to you on Friday.
Okay, take care. All right, guys,
take care. And we'll be right back with John Hanson, that little old wine drinker, right after these brief messages. Don't go away, folks.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, They're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson, & Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
When they ask who's a fool in the corner crying, I say, a little old wine drinker me.
And now, from the middle of a vineyard somewhere, a man who's never met a grape he couldn't cuddle up to, our resident advanced sommelier, John Hanson.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:01 p.m. Pacific time. Currently 55 degrees here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 36 degrees. It wasn't so sunny yesterday. It was storming. But you know what? If you're one of our listeners in Chicago, Illinois, it's currently 44 degrees and partly cloudy. But you know what's not cloudy? The sun is shining around my good buddy, the little old wine drinker, John Hanson. Hey, John, welcome aboard.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. I'm doing super. I've got all this new technology. It's all working. I got a brand new 65-inch TV that's with all the bells and whistles in it that I'm enjoying. They spent all day almost today putting that thing together, and with just all kinds of new technology in here today. So I'm thrilled, and everything is working, even though I'm too old for what was going on most of the time. Nothing was working at the beginning.
Well, that's what happens when you get old, Bob. Things stop working.
Boy, you can see. Yeah, well, yeah. You know what? I can actually attest to that.
Absolutely.
At least they don't work the way they used to.
Exactly.
So, how's my good buddy doing?
Great. Looking forward to this week. Super Bowl weekend. Do you have plans for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, every year, you know my good buddy Mark Mitzenmacher.
Yeah, sure.
Every year he invites me over to his house and he makes his special jambalaya. He actually went to the New Orleans School of Cooking and learned how to make jambalaya there, and so he makes a big pot of jambalaya, and his significant other is Chinese, and she makes a lot of Chinese dim sum and pot stickers and all kinds of shrimp and stuff like that. So we just put on the feed bag. There's a number of friends he invites over, and we sit there and watch the Super Bowl on his big screen.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah, I met his significant other at your 50th anniversary.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
What a great lady she was.
Yeah, she's a nice lady. Yeah, a very nice lady.
She is. I mean, we talked for hours, actually. She outstandingly. I mean, she has great stories too. I tell you, it was interesting just talking with her.
Oh yeah. Amazing. You know what? I've got some great stories I could tell about Mark, but then he and I wouldn't be friends anymore.
Matter of fact, Bob, I think I know half those stories anyway.
Yeah, that's true. But and then you could do the same to me. So just watch yourself.
Probably. Well, buddy, I go to Vegas every year. This is the 5th year I go to Vegas. Mm-hmm. My good friend Ron Gill, one of his best friends, was part of the trio who bought Gold Coast, Barbary Coast, Rio, and all that. And he got out of that little partnership, and just when they built South Point out there, he said, "I tell you what, I want to get out. Give me this hotel, and you guys keep the other hotels, and we're even." And so every year we go out there. And Ron gets the suite on top of the hotel there, top floor, which is about a quarter of the whole floor. The bar is about as big as the bar at Napa Rose.
Wow.
Is stocked. Our dinners are taken care of, and then we go to the high end Super Bowl party where it's all you can eat, all you can drink, and they have 4 huge, about the size of a wall in your room, big screens in each corner of the ballroom there, and it's just an elaborate event. We have such a great time.
Well, make sure you tell Ron that this old guy that he used to know said hello.
I definitely will. But Monday early, we're going to have lunch with Bobby V.
Oh, really? Tell Bobby I said hi.
His wine. Yeah, so we're going to do a little taste some of his wines. So we get to see Bobby there as well. So it's going to be a fun trip there. I'm looking forward to this weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm a big sports guy anyway, and Super Bowl is kind of like my Christmas, I guess.
Yeah,
because I love football, and I'm just happy that the Patriots ain't in it because cheaters never win, and they're in it like every other year.
Yeah, you know what? You're absolutely right. And I got to tell you, there's a part of me that just, this is probably the last hurrah for Peyton Manning. I'd like to see him leave with a win.
I would love to see that, and then just retire. It's kind of like John Wayne going out in the sunset. It would be perfect. John Elway. The Broncos. I don't know what his title actually is. General manager, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. He's the general manager. Yeah.
And he went out that same way. He brought the Broncos to 2 Super Bowls and said, "Adios, I'm done. My career's done." And I hope Peyton does the same. Hopefully, he can get away with a win. But that Carolina team looks really good.
Looks strong, yeah, absolutely. Hey, listen, you'll be surprised. We were invited to Tiffany and Rich's last night. They actually made a turkey dinner, not for things. I don't know why. They just decided to have a turkey dinner. So Marlene and I wound up going over there, and it was magnificent turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy and stuffing and corn. I mean, it was just fantastic. And you know what? He and I haven't had it for a long time. He got a bottle of Forniente for Marlene. And and a bottle of Silver Oak for me. And boy, I tell you, I think I died and went to heaven yesterday.
Well, as I said, two great wines, and is that Marlene's favorite? Well, I think the Montrachet is Marlene's favorite.
She likes the Montrachet. That's probably her favorite white wine is the Montrachet, but she always remembers there was a long time there she was drinking the Forniente a lot.
And I tell you, remember back in the 80s, Forniente used to be this big, heavy oak monster, and they really changed their style, more Burgundian, more like French Chardonnay.
Yeah.
And right now, I love that Chardonnay. It's delicious, and I wish more people in California would do that style of wine for Chardonnays. As I say, if I'm drinking whites, it's usually French.
Well, who was it that used to do? I'm trying to think of the name of the. Ferrari Carano used to make a heavy oak buttery Chardonnay.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, it's not as big as it used to. Which, as I said, I like better. People just got into over manipulating wines. People would say, "Hey, well, hell, if we put 18 months off, let's put 26 months on those. Let's use new French barrels and let's do 100% malolactic fermentation. So we'll take all the acid out. So all you get is this creamy, roundy oak wine. And unfortunately, you can't pair that with any food. And some people fell in love with that, and you need acid with food, Bob, and I don't know why they make those wines, but they're very expensive and people enjoy them, and I would never buy a bottle. But and most people come to their senses. Most winemakers. Yeah,
for the lack of a better phrase, I think it's beyond its time now.
It is, and what a great segment into our topic this evening. we've been doing wines of the world. Last week we talked about the Loire Valley and how diverse that. I love the Loire Valley, especially Sancerre. There's Sauvignon Blancs there, but you can get sparkling whites, reds, whatever you want there. It's probably one of the most diverse regions in France. And a few weeks back, of course, we started the segment. I had to start it with the Rhone Valley because, that's your favorite area in France.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But, the best wines in the world, we got to talk Bordeaux and Burgundy today. And, we had a great time in Bordeaux. We were right bank, Saint-Emilion and Pomerol area there, which is mostly Merlot and Cab Franc. And you have the clay soil, and it's a little cooler. So, that's why you have Merlot and Cab Franc. Cabernet needs a little more warmer area. That's why Napa Valley is notorious for Cabernet, because you get the warmth there. And they do plant Cabernet on right bank, but it depends. Most of the time they don't even use it because it doesn't ripen enough. But on the ripe year, they'll blend it into their wines. But I tell you a great story in Saint-Emilion. That little wine shop was great.
Oh, yeah.
But Fabrice and I went to pick something up, and the streets, it's hilarious. They get so small that we tried to make a turn. Now, this is a little, it is mom's Mercedes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was like a 200 something. This is a small little Mercedes. Yeah. And we went into this corner, and we couldn't get out. The townspeople, this is a true story. The townspeople actually came down, picked up the car, and carried it over to the side so we can go straight because we couldn't make the turn. The roads were that narrow there.
You never told me this story.
Oh my! It was hilarious. There's one time we gotta go pick. It could have been when we picked up the cake. We went somewhere into Saint-Emilion, and we got stuck. It's like, Fabrice is trying to turn. He goes, "Oh my God, John, I can't turn." and the townspeople just came out. We got out. We actually had to lift the car up and walk it over so we can get straight and go down the road. But it's amazing how narrow. And this was a small little car. There's no way a truck can get down there. There's no. It was just crazy. And I think it rained a little bit, and the streets are so steep too.
Yeah.
You can actually, if you slip and fall, you're going to slide all the way down to the end of the street. There's no stopping you. It's just crazy. But what a great town, and great wines. There's, of course, Cheval Blanc.
Oh, boy, we had a great time at Cheval Blanc.
Oh, and they treat us like royalty over there. That was so much fun. Then, of course, Chateau Petrus wouldn't even listen. And I love Fabrice's little story. He called up and he says, "Yes, I'm a winemaker. This is my, I have a winery here. I have a master candidate coming in. We'd like to do a tour of the winery." And the guy goes, "Nope, nope, nope, nope." And then Fabrice says, "Is that all you say is no?" He goes, "Nope." And that was the end of Petrus.
Yeah.
And it was ironic because, about 6 months later, Christian Molex, the man at Petrus, came over to Napa Rose, and we took him to the Angel Red Sox game. Ironically,
did you tell him the story? Did you tell him the story?
No, I didn't have the heart to, because he comes up and he goes, "Whenever you want to go to Chateau Petrus, you let me know. We'll give you the royal treatment." I'm like, "Oh, gee, about 6 months ago, I didn't get that."
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, but what a great time we had. There's they have what they call Class A, and back when we went, there was only 2 Class A's. Of course, Cheval Blanc, which is my favorite, right bank Bordeaux, and Chateau Osson. But there have been 3 more that's been elevated up: Chateau Angelis, Chateau Pavé, and Chateau Figeac. We actually were at Figeac as well. I don't know if you remember going to Chateau Figeac,
yes.
But we stopped at a couple of right bank wineries there, and just great wines. And of course, left bank, right bank's mostly, as we stated, Merlot and Cab Franc, because it is cooler. It's clay soil. The left bank, you have rocky soil, and so the rocks warm up. The heat when the sun hits the rocks, just similar to the Rhone region as well, heats up. So Cabernet actually grows better there, and the base varietal, of course, on the left bank is Cabernet. You do have Cabernet Franc, Petit Verdot, Malbec, Merlot. all the other varietals as well. But it's Cabernet driven, where I think is more of a little Cab Franc driven. But of course, the best wines in the world.
Lafitte is out region. There, and
you got Chateau Lafitte. You got your first gross Margaux, which is of course from the Margaux region. Lafitte's from Pauillac, Latour from Pauillac. Then you got Haut-Brion, which is from the Graves area, and of course Chateau Mouton from Pauillac as well, which was elevated up to first growth status back in '73. But I mean, if you want to pay $1,000 a bottle, they're incredible, and I don't want to tell you they're not.
John, nobody wants to pay $1,000 a bottle. Not even Donald Trump wants to pay $1,000 a bottle.
Well, I tell you, the prices are coming down a little bit, on the first gross, but they're still up there. But I mean, unbelievable second gross as well. And I mean, you got on St. Julien area, you got Louisville-Lacoste, you got Louisville-Bouton, also St. Julien, Margaux area, you got Brown Cantenac, you got Pichon Longueville, Pichon Lalonde, unbelievable wines, and then I tell you, Dracul Bocoyu from St. Julien, one of my favorites.
So John, are you the same as me? I mean, I love California wine. I love, I love good wines. Period. It wouldn't make any difference if they're Australia or New Zealand or Africa or South America or where they're at. I love good wines, but I do have a preference for French wines. I really like French wines.
Well, sparkling wise, French makes the best wine. There's some great Cabernets coming out. I mean, we love Linda.
Terra Roja is one of the best. I love Terra Roja.
And I tell you, the Spanish, the Vega Sicilias, for a third of the price of the Bordeaux, are just amazing wines. But the King, still, if you're going to go Cabernet, I mean, as I said, there's some great Cabernets out there, but gosh, compared to the first growth, I got to go first growth if you gave me a choice. But as I said, if you don't want to spend as much money, I mean, Chateau Montrose, that's Alcena Steph. Second growth, I mean, a little high. But as you go down the growth system, you get to third growths where you get a lot of Merlots in there, like Boyd Cantenac, Cantenac Brown, Chateau Palmer, all those great.
Do they label them by growths?
Yeah, we'll tell you what growth. It may tell you on the back of it. Yeah, that's a good question. I don't think they all do what growth it is, but you can kind of determine that by the price on the bottle, how much it's going for.
Oh yeah, well, and very honestly, I mean, probably not you, but me at least, because you have a very, very sophisticated palate, and mine is not near as sophisticated. It would, for me to get above that, into those really high priced wines would be a waste, because generally the wines that are a couple $100 a bottle, I can tell the difference between that and a $30 or $40 bottle of wine. But when you start talking $1,000, I don't know that I'd be able to taste the difference.
Well, and that's the point I like to put out there. I mean, on banner years, like in Bordeaux, like 2000, look for a third, fourth gross. I mean, where you're paying a fraction of the price of the first gross.
Yeah.
As I said, Dulon Milan, Rothschild from Pauillac, the fourth gross compared to Lafitte, it's just a fraction of the price. And on a banner year, I won't say it's good, but darn close.
Yeah, yeah.
It's crazy the prices out there.
Yeah, nobody's gonna spit it out.
Exactly, and it's funny because I was talking to Philippe. I love Dracul Bocoyu, and the price in that, I mean, you should get it $80, $85 a bottle. And now it's like $150. Now it's $200. If you're looking in the store now, it's like, gosh, I remember I used to pay $85 a bottle for that not that long ago.
Yeah.
They're going up, but then you look at the first growth, closer to $1,000 a bottle, and that $200 and some dollars isn't that bad.
Yeah.
And as I say, on the banner years are just amazing. And then you get down to the fifth growth, Bob. And of course, the one that's going to be very expensive is Chateau Lynchbog. And they call that kind of like a super second. That's the only set of girls that you're going to pay a lot of money for. But Chateau Haut Battier, some very nice wines, and they're going to be, a fraction of the price. And then you get into like the Bordeaux Superiors and so forth.
Oh yeah. Hey, John, we got to take a commercial break, and when we come back, you know what? I'm just going to make a statement, and when you come back, I'll have you answer that statement. Both of us entertain a lot. Both of us love to cook, and we both love to eat. But one of the things that I don't do is if the guests that I'm having over are knowingly not really big wine lovers, not really big wine drinkers, I don't pick my best wines to put on that table. I'd like to find out what your thoughts are on this when we come back from this commercial message. We'll be right back with our own little old wine drinker, John Hanson. Don't go away, folks.
Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39, a complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza Live on the street at the intersection of business and politics, where it's currently 55 degrees here in the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 35 degrees. I want to tell you, that's cold. And it's 4:24 p.m. Pacific time. But you know what? If you live in a favorite place of John's and mine, it's Paris, France. It's currently 52 degrees and mostly cloudy, and it's 1:24 in the morning. So if you're listening, guys, get a life, for God's sake. You know, we archive these shows. You can actually listen to it in the daytime if you wanted to. Anyway, John, you've got the microphone. What do you think about when you have guests over and maybe their palates are not that sophisticated, or maybe what happens to you when you have a mixture? Maybe you have more than one couple over for dinner. You got you got you that has a sophisticated palate. Maybe you have somebody there that is a wine lover with they love wine, but their palates are not quite as sophisticated as yours. Then you got another couple that, you know what, they just as soon be drinking water.
Well, you know, I'll be the first one to open up a nice bottle of wine. But, you know, it's funny. With my, I remember back, we were celebrating the holidays in Vegas when I was married to my first wife there, Zach's mom. And I brought a bottle of Dom Perignon. And, you know, we opened it, just drank it. And, you know, love my family. I open up anything for my family, and now with Raina, I mean, it's great because her family doesn't drink, so I don't have to worry about that. But you know, I learned that, you know, they said, it's okay, and he, you know, her dad drank like a half a glass of the Dom, and half of it was wasted, and then he went to tequila, and it was like, gosh, why did I bring this expensive bottle of champagne for, you know, the holidays? Yeah. And so, you know, if somebody's really into wine, I love to drink it, you know, anything with them to experience, you know, even, okay, I love wine, I haven't tried this, you know, I love opening up bottles so they can try this and talk to them about it, you know, and it becomes a great evening because, oh my God, this is incredible. But you're right. I mean, people, you know, they don't really care. They don't know. I mean, don't go opening, you know, $200, $300, $400 bottles of wine. There's some great wines, and we talked about our wine pick of last week was the Provence Cab for $28 a bottle at Costco. I mean, what a great bottle of wine. It's a great cab. And they go, oh my God, it's a great cab. They'll be happy. Everybody be happy with that. But yeah, it's only when you got special people over that know wine, you know, that's the only time I open up something, or a special occasion with my wife and I, you know, we'll open up a nice bottle so we can enjoy it together. But, yeah, when we entertain, and I mean, it's just a crowd that's diverse and we don't know, you know, we'll go for our standards, you know, we'll open up that Provence, you know, open up, you know, something that's not too expensive, but is amazing for the price. And if we have like say if Fabrique came over with his wife or so, well, you know, yeah, of course, you know, we'll open up something real special for them.
Yeah,
but, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't enjoy it if the people are not enjoying it too. I mean, I would enjoy myself. Of course,
yeah, and you're right. I mean, you know, you don't enjoy it if the people that are with you aren't enjoying it, and so it's a disappointment. And so you don't bring it out for those kinds of guests.
Yeah. I remember, you know, my sister and her husband, you know, flew in. They stayed with us, and I had a Latache, you know, and we'll talk about Burgundy probably next time. You know, we do the wines of the world here because Burgundy is just amazing. Probably my favorite area of France. You know, if God said, all right, John, I'm going to take you tomorrow, you can have any wine in the world, say, yeah, give me that 99 Domaine Roman and Conti, would be my choice probably. But I opened up the Latache, and they loved it, and, you know, but, I mean, I only had one of these DRCs, you know, and I'm glad I shared it with my family. You know, my sister got to try it, which they would never, ever get to try something like this, you know. So it was nice that way. I felt good that way. But, you know, as I said, they go, wow, this is good, you know. But they really didn't enjoy it, you know, where if Philippe was over and go, oh, my God, this is the most amazing wine I ever had, you know, where that would be a little more enjoyable for me because they're enjoying it as much as I'm enjoying it. Not, oh, wow, this is good. It's like, oh, my God, this is amazing, you know, because their palates are there. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's you know, you got to do what you got to do. But, but I'm sure I have other wines that they would love just as much. That's just, as I said, a fraction of the price. So, yeah. You know what? It makes you feel bad, but you can't. Otherwise, you know what? It's just a waste. Yeah, well, as I said, drink as much as you can.
Yeah.
But, as I said, I'm looking at the table there, and half the glasses are still full, and they're doing something else, and it's like, gosh, they're half the bottle's already wasted. They're not even going to drink it, and I just opened up this incredible bottle of wine, and it wasn't really enjoyed. So, and you enjoy it more if the people really know what it is and enjoy it just as much. And that's one that just makes the evening so much more special. That, wow, God, I can't believe you opened this. This is amazing. To, oh, this is good. What is this? You're talking French to me. I have no idea what you're saying.
Yeah. The interesting thing is that, you can actually talk about individual winemakers and wineries and bottles. For me, when I'm picking a wine, I'm looking at regions more than I am who actually made that wine, because a lot of the places that I go to, they're stocking their own wine lists, and they're not getting those brand name wines that you expect. They get a few of them, or they even have them on the list. A lot of times, I've been to places where they've got these top notch wines, and you're ordering them, and they don't have them in stock. They don't have them in stock, and they're all full of apologies. I think it was just so their wine list looked good. So I've now am looking at regions more than I am actual winemakers.
Yeah, and that's so true, especially in France. I mean, certain winemakers, they have that style. Like we'll talk about Burgundy, our next show, and I love Loire and
Loire Valley,
Lujac, and all these incredible winemakers, but the region is where you want to look, where, I guess it's kind of the same in California, but you do have your certain winemakers, because, we talked about 15 years ago, it was all Helen Turley and
oh, yeah.
Now it's Thomas River Brown and Philippe Melka, or anything with their names associated to it it's incredible, and it's like, oh, we gotta go buy it. So the winemaker is important, but certain vineyards, I mean, you look at Beckstoffer. Anything with Beckstoffer on the bottle, go out and buy it. It's going to be amazing, no matter who the winemaker is. But if somebody made it that is amazing, it even adds to the experience, But and it's funny because in Europe, the year is much more important than it is in California. We're so, from a good year and a bad year is okay. It's off a little bit. Well,
the Silver Oak that I had last night was a 2008. It had a mediocre kind of rating on the list that I was looking at, but it was phenomenal. I mean, it was fantastic.
Yeah, not a banner year, but not a bad year, and as I said, from 8 to 9 or 8 to 07, which was great, there's really not that much of a variance. Where in Europe, from 2000 to 2001, there's a variance. Yeah. It's like, wow, there's a huge difference in some years. So, it's California. I won't say it's hard to make a bad wine, because there are bad wines out there, but the climate is so consistent that you have better years and bad years, but not where the product is going to be so much a fluctuation.
Well, let me ask you this: the winemakers, the actual winemakers, do they stick with a vineyard for a long, long time, or do they move around?
Well, they'll go wherever anybody pays them, of course, but they like certain areas, certain blocks. And they even do that. It'd be like the H block. They just pick from the certain block to certain areas. And Jarvis had a Chardonnay. It's funny, we were talking to the winemaker. There was a certain area that the birds just kept going and eating all the grapes. Well, the birds know what's good. They were eating the good grapes. So, they had to put tarps over the top of it so the birds couldn't go down and eat it, and so forth. And that particular block was the best Chardonnay they had. And they had to put these tarps over the top that the sun get through just to block the birds coming and just, eating all the grapes up. And, that's how the winemaker learned what he had. He's like, the birds wouldn't eat any of these, but just this one area here, and the grapes were just amazing. So, yeah, I mean, certain areas, certain little things would be better than others, but in California, the variance isn't as big as it is in Europe. I mean, Europe, you have one year, and then the next year it'd be, what happened? You know, especially up, you know, in the colder regions where the grapes don't ripen as much. You know, California, they're going to ripen. You know, they pick, and the problem with California, it's more rain than ripening. It's like, well, are we going to pick before the rains, or should we let it go after the rains, and hopefully we get a better product? Because what happens when it rains, you know, the water gets into the grapes and the juice gets a little diluted with water, and it's not going to be as good. So what they have to determine is, should we pick a little early where the fruit's not going to be as ripe, or do we let it go and hopefully it doesn't rain that much? And, you know, it's rolling the dice. And sometimes it pays off to pick early, and sometimes it pays off to pick late. So
yeah.
So we had. Go ahead.
So we were talking. We're not going to do Burgundy until next week, right? Next week you're probably not going to be on the show because you're going to be in Vegas, right?
I'll probably be on the road. Time coming back, because we're going to have lunch, and I'm sure it's probably going to linger a little, knowing Bobby. So we probably won't be leaving to probably around 2 in the afternoon from Vegas. So I'll probably still on the road showtime. But the following show, we'll definitely do Burgundy and Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. And go down to Beaujolais, of course, where the main grape there is Gamay. Some great, as I say, my favorite wine. If I had to pick one. Although, you know, as I say, Bordeaux is right there with some of those Spanish wines as a close second. But can't wait to talk to you about Burgundy.
Oh yeah, that's
one of my loves. Definitely one of my loves.
Yeah, you know, we could talk about wines and so generally, you wouldn't open up a Burgundy just for the sake of having a cocktail type wine. You'd save that for a nice meal, right? Well,
depending what, I mean, there's, you know, you can get lower end Burgundies, which are very nice. And certain, like you do like Beaumont, Volnay, they're just this elegant finesse Burgundies. And you can get bigger, like Pomard, masculine, bigger, you know, and really neat food where you can actually drink a nice Volnay or Beaumont. It's a beautiful wine. It's just elegance and I mean, you can just have that by itself, but I would drink it more with food. You know, it is definitely a food wine because you have the acid, you have everything, the earth, everything coming out, just an expression of this unbelievable wine that will pair very nice with certain foods. It's, I mean, you can drink it by itself, but it would be just so much more amazing with a nice dish with that. I mean, French wines are made for food. I mean, they just French cuisine with the French wine. Oh,
well, you know what? You know what's interesting? You know, having traveled France a great deal, both of us have actually. I don't know that they make a bad wine in France. You know, their table wines are good. I mean,
are amazing. Well, remember that one shop we went in? It was just Bordeaux Superiors, and I think it was wines went from €6 to €30. That was it.
Yeah,
that was it. And we tasted, I think, 20 wines that evening, just in that little tasting room there.
Yeah.
And the €6 wines were amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, God, this is delicious. How much is this? €6? Wow. You know, wow. I mean, it's not even in a grossness, not even that, and that's just like a table wine, basically.
Yeah.
Maybe a little above a table wine, but delicious for you know, I guess back when we were there, the euro was like $1.60 or $1.70.
Yeah, $1.60, $1.70.
So maybe let's say a $10 bottle of wine.
Yeah,
and that I would pay $10 any day for that bottle of wine.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You know what? I've learned that certainly the more expensive a wine is some kind of an indication of the quality, but you know, not always. Some of these less expensive wines, the lesser known wines, boy, you can get some really good deals.
Oh, well, we not to bring up Chateau Saint Jean, Saint Cepage, but I mean, I was getting for $26 a bottle, I think, or something like that. And when it got the #1 rating, you saw on everybody's list for $100 and some dollars. I mean, it just tripled in price just because they had the good rating. And it's like, my gosh, why would you do that to people? And we told that story so many times, and it just left a bad taste in my mouth. And they have never recovered. The St. Spaz is still a good bottle of wine, but now you see it for, I know, wine that's like $60 maybe.
Yeah.
It's less than half than what it was going in its heyday. And it's still a decent bottle of wine, but nobody buys it because, the people that got pissed off of it won't buy it. And now it's just a mediocre bottle of wine. And that was a number one wine back, 15, 20 years ago, whatever it was.
Yeah.
And
well, buddy, guess what time it is? We are out of time. This has been terrific. I always love talking to you. I want to make sure that you give that lovely wife of yours a hug and a kiss from me, and I want to make sure that you drive safely if you're driving to Vegas. Stay safe. Keep your head about you, and we'll talk to you not next Monday, but the Monday after.
Sounds great. Do the same for Marlene.
All right. You take care. Good, buddy. Have a good one. Make everybody's life better because you're in it. We'll be right back after these brief messages with the birthdays for the day, the secret daily teaching for your life, the Harvard business tip of the day, and interesting but useless facts. Don't go away, folks. We'll be right back.
If you want to increase your client base and sales, then consider this, the Relationship Building Network at RBN. Given the current economic conditions and challenges, we all need to work smarter, make smarter decisions, invest our hard-earned dollars where it'll yield the best return for our investment. Many business professionals claim that the most effective networking group in Orange County is RBN. No other networking group or organization can offer what RBN offers. Make every year your best year. Join RBN and start reaping the benefits today. Nearly 3,000 businesses have joined RBN and experienced those benefits. Why join RBN? It's one group. It's one membership. It's no renewals. It's all through Orange County. RBN is a freestyle networking group. No mandatory attendance, no restrictions, no rules, and no penalties. Call them at 949-830-5776 or go to their website at rbninfo.com. That's 949-830-5776. If you've ever dreamed of having your own business to make your life secure, Water's Edge Wineries might be just the ticket. In 2004, their founder, Ken Lineberger, created the first winery franchise in California. It was a new concept with all of the functionality of a traditional winery, but without the vineyards. They purchased high-quality grape must from one of the largest winemaking companies in the world. Then they craft each wine carefully and bottle it right at their location. The winery was built to satisfy consumer demand for wine by the bottle and by the glass, but still kept the element of allowing customers to bottle their own custom vintage. Now, they're opening urban wineries across the United States under the brand Water's Edge Wineries. If you've ever dreamed of owning your own winery, it may be in reach right now through Water's Edge Wineries. Just give them a call at 909-468-9463, extension 700. That's Water's Edge Wineries, 909-468-9463. Have you ever found yourself caught between a rock and a hard place? The law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett might be just the answer for you. The attorneys of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett have been serving the Inland Empire since 1989. They're dedicated to the aggressive litigation of civil, criminal, and real estate matters. Over the years, they have recovered tens of millions of dollars for their clients. The firm's practice specializes in litigation of personal injury, accident, slip and fall, real estate, and criminal law cases. The firm provides clients with the care, accuracy, and dedication of experienced attorneys. Blomberg, Benson & Garrett is located at 10300 4th Street, Suite 150 in Rancho Cucamonga, California. They've been providing the Inland Empire residents with outstanding legal services for over 25 years. They look forward to providing you with aggressive legal representation. Call them at 909-945-5000, where you can talk to a person, not a machine. That's 909-945-5000, the law offices of Blomberg, Benson & Garrett. And now let's get back to our show where we talk about politics, money, and you.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. We're at 4:44 p.m. Pacific time. It is currently 55 degrees. Spin that for a while here in the heart of the Inland Empire in sunny Southern California. It's on its way down to 35 degrees. The high today was only 57 for Pete's sake. But you know what? If you're one of our listeners in San Diego, California, I want you to know that it's mostly cloudy and it's 57 degrees there. So not much warmer than what it is right here in the heart of the Inland Empire. So give that some thought. But you know what? Let's talk about the Harvard business tip of the day. You know, the management tip today is get your message across in a difficult conversation. You know, if you need to have a difficult conversation with someone, you're unlikely to come to a resolution if you don't hear the other person out. After you've listened to your counterpart, you can create a better understanding of your message by doing the following. First off, own your perspective. Treat your opinion like it is your opinion, for Pete's sake. Start sentences with I, not you. Explain what's bothering you and follow up by identifying what you hope will happen. And pay attention to your words. Avoid name calling and finger pointing. Your language should be simple, clear, direct, and neutral. And watch your body language. Are you slumping your shoulders, rolling your eyes? Take stock of the impression that you're actually giving. And then finally, change the tenor of the conversation. If things get heated, don't panic. Take a deep breath and suggest a different approach, such as, if we put our heads together, we could probably come up with a way to move past this. Do you have any ideas? That's how you deal with these things. That's the way you want to be dealing with these things. Now, let's talk about that secret daily teaching for your life. It's all about a positive mental attitude. You know what? I say it every day, and I could change the way I introduce this, but you know, it doesn't make sense. You have to know that you control your life. The good, the bad, the success, the failure, the rich, the poor, the happy, the sad. You do control your life. It's all about a positive mental attitude. Now, the secret for today is we are not able to see the bigger picture of our lives, but the universe or the creative power can see it all. Sometimes we think that something is right for us, but when it doesn't unfold the way we thought, we must have faith in the universe, and it is matching up all of our inner desires and marrying them into every aspect of our lives. That is the daily teaching for today. Well, listen, you know what today is. Everybody does. It's Monday, and it's February the 1st. By the way, it's only 14 days or 13 days to Valentine's Day. I just want to go ahead and warn you guys about that. But what today really is it's somebody's birthday. And we've got some interesting birthdays for today. And first off, this guy was born in 1931. He died in 2007. He was the very first president of the Russian Federation, serving from 1991 to 1999. Happy birthday to Boris Yeltsin. And it's also the birthday of Rick James. And here's a person born in 1986. A TV star known for being featured in the MTV reality series Laguna Beach and for her spin-off show The Hills. Happy birthday, Lauren Conrad. Well, you know what? What happened today in history? You ever think about that? I like these kind of things. On February the 1st, 1865, President Abraham Lincoln signs the 13th Amendment to the United States Constitution. Yeah. And in 1996, the Communications Decency Act is passed by the United States Congress. And on February 1st, 2003, Space Shuttle Columbia disintegrates during re-entry into the Earth's atmosphere, killing all 7 astronauts aboard. That's a sad memory, isn't it? Sure. Well, you know what? The quote for today comes from Josh Billings, and he says, "When a man comes to me for advice, I find out the kind of advice he wants, and I give it to him." I guess that's the best. That's the only kind of advice that really somebody wants to hear, isn't it? The kind that they want. Well, you know what? It's time for our interesting but useless fact. We've got some great ones for today. So let's go ahead and talk about those just a bit. You know what? The very first portable calculator placed on sale by Texas Instruments weighed only 2.5 pounds and cost a mere $150. That was back in 1971. Of course, today, you can't already weigh them, and they're so much more powerful, right? Sure. Did you know there has never been a time in Super Bowl history where a punt return resulted in a touchdown? Do you think this Sunday might be the difference? We'll see. I hope so. Wouldn't that be exciting? Did you know Einstein slept 10 hours a night? I can't even hardly imagine that. You know, I generally go to sleep around 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning easily. For some reason, I can't sleep past 5 o'clock in the morning, and I don't know how Einstein was able to sleep that long. How about this? You know, after the Great Fire of Rome in AD 64, the Emperor Nero ostensibly decided to lay the blame on Christians residing in the city of Rome. Now these he gathered together, crucified, covered in pitch, which is tar, and burned alive. He walked around his gardens admiring the view. Wow. That hurts, right? Yeah, that's bad. How about this? The first 20 African slaves were brought to the United States, to the colony of Virginia in 1619 by a Dutch ship. Yeah, absolutely. Try this one on. Did you know the name Uncle Sam for the United States came from a person known as Uncle Sam Wilson of Troy, New York, who supplied food for the United States Army in the War of 1812. And let me leave you with this one. In Gulliver's Travels, Jonathan Swift described the two moons of Mars, Phobos and Deimos, giving their exact size and speeds of rotation. He did this more than 100 years before either moon was discovered. Isn't that interesting? Yeah. Well, don't go away. When we come back, I'm going to be answering your emails, as I always do. The first one comes from Caden Burke from Roselle in Illinois, asking about a home office deduction. I'll answer those questions right after these brief messages. Don't go away. You'll find this interesting.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone. Isn't it time to shine the spotlight on your expertise? The Interview, starring you. Here's your chance to capture 5 minutes of fame with The Interview. This isn't just any interview. This is your opportunity to showcase your expertise and position yourself as a trusted expert in a one-on-one video interview hosted by Robert Cardoza, host of the nationally syndicated show Robert Cardoza Live and powered by AHA Studios. What is it? A professionally recorded video for your use. Robert Cardoza interviews you on the set where he records his show. Professional interview showcases your expertise and value, shot in a state-of-the-art studio. And what's in it for you? Gain credibility as an expert, earn the trust of your target market, educate in a way that intrigues your audience, gain a powerful marketing tool that offers dozens of uses, website, video sharing sites, social media, email, DVDs, direct mail, lobby video, resumes, profile building, all that kind of stuff. Association with the nationally syndicated celebrity. That's right. And let's talk about AHA Studios. AHA is a strategic marketing firm that leverages the powerful and visual persuasion to help your business create powerful messages that connect with your target market. AHA ventures way beyond strategy, delivering the marketing collateral you need to start driving a new business through your doors. AHA has a full-service, in-house, state-of-the-art production studio to bring your messages to life using video. Discover how to make The Interview work for you. Call 949-831-2222. That's 949-831-2222. AHA Image Studios Incorporated. Dr. Stephen Tidwell, Gentle Family Dentistry in a caring, personalized environment. Here at Dr. Tidwell's office, we are dedicated to helping you keep your teeth healthy. We are a state-of-the-art dental practice that still believes in traditional values, such as excellent customer service and individual attention. We have a special welcoming offer for you for just $39. A complete exam, personal consultation, professional cleaning, and all necessary x-rays. That's a $266 value for $39. Dr. Tidwell has 2 convenient locations and experienced staff to provide you with professional care and personal attention that you deserve. Call today. Don't delay. A great smile another day. Call 909-944-7308. That's 909-944-7308 for Rancho Cucamonga or San Bernardino. Joel Saltzman is Dr. Wireless. He has turned his considerable expertise into consumer credit risk and wireless security into a highly specialized independent web-based consulting enterprise targeting consumer credit risk analysis and wireless transactional security and monitoring. He works as a wireless analyst, veteran independent agent, and consumer liaison for most wireless telecom carriers and equipment manufacturers. For more than 20 years, corporate and private clients and media audiences have counted on his unvarnished advice while weighing the technology, performance, and cost differences between Sprint, Nextel, AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile. Joel specializes in setting up mobile wireless hotspots to be used for disaster preparedness, business continuity, and mobile wireless merchant processing solutions. Call Dr. Wireless at 310-400-4900 or go to his webpage at drwireless.com. Again, call 310-400-4900 or his webpage at drwireless.com. You'll be glad you did. And now, back to our show.
And I am Robert Cardoza. You're listening to Robert Cardoza live on the street at the intersection of business and politics. You know what? I hit the wrong button before we went on the commercial break. Looks like we were going to shut down the show prematurely. Had a couple of little glitches, and I don't know where my mind was at, but we're back on track now. You know what? This is a entertainment section of the show. We'd like to make sure that what we're doing is accurate as we can, but sometimes the emails you send me are just a little bit sketchy. So we always encourage you to talk to a licensed professional before you do anything. They're going to always save you more money than they cost you, and they're going to give you peace of mind, let you sleep at night. Don't have to worry about registered letters or doorbells ringing or phones ringing or somebody knocking on your door, because they're required to have errors and omissions insurance as part of their licensing requirement. It's the same thing as malpractice insurance, but it does mean that if they make a mistake, they pay the piper, not you, and I think that's a good thing for you to keep in mind. The other thing is, like to encourage you to always go out and get our app for us. We have an app for the Windows products and Android. We also have an app for the Apple products. Just go to the Apple store and search Robert Cardoza Live. The app is right there. It's absolutely free. It'll let you listen to our show live when we're broadcasting live as we are now. Let you chat with us during the show, or if you want to listen to our archive shows, they're all there for you to listen to also. If you have a Windows product or an Android product, you know what? Just go to googleplay.com and then search Robert Cardoza Live. The apps are right there. Like I say, those apps are absolutely free. They're there for your convenience. We'd appreciate it if you'd get them. It'll also kind of remind you that the show is there. So having done that. Now, my first email today comes from Caden Burke from Roselle, Illinois. As I said, she's asking about a home office deduction. It says, if I convince my employer to let me work from home, will I be able to deduct a home office? Well, you know what, Caden? It's a promising idea, but home office deductions for employees are subject to some restrictions. Now, first, the office is deductible only as an employee business expense among your miscellaneous itemized deductions, the total of which is deductible only to the extent that it exceeds 2% of your adjusted gross income. And also, it's not enough for your employer to let you work at home. The law says that you must work at home for the convenience of the employer, which means that your employer must require you to work at home for its benefit. So let me suggest this. Show your employer that it can save money by not providing an office to you, but rather to have it formally require you to work at home. And that'll probably solve your problem. And it'll actually solve theirs too, if you think about it. Next email comes from Daniel Chin from Westfield, Massachusetts, asking about a joint savings and probate. Writes, my mom wants to put her savings in a joint account with me so I can inherit them outside of probate. If we do this, will I owe tax on half the interest earned? All the money is hers. I won't spend any of it, and I'm in a much higher tax bracket than she is. Well, you know what, Daniel? If your mother provides all the money in the joint account, the IRS will consider all the money to be hers, and the interest on it will be taxable to her. Now, use your mother's name and Social Security number when setting up the account. They will be used when issuing the 1099 forms that report interest earned in the account to the IRS. Now, the interest will be reported to her, and you'll have no problem. But if you withdraw any of the funds that your mother puts into the account, she will be deemed to have made a gift of those to you at that time. So kind of keep that in mind, as far as flexibility and the way you can do those things. Next email comes from Jessica Collins from Mishawaka, Indiana, from asking about Social Security tax, and says, I just lost my job. Can I keep paying Social Security tax voluntarily while I am unemployed to prevent any Social Security benefits from being reduced? Well, Jessica, the answer to your question is no, you can't. Moreover, your Social Security benefits are not based on the amount of taxes that you pay, but on the amount of your earnings, specifically your level of earnings in your 35 highest earning working years. So if it is possible that your period of unemployment will not affect your future benefits at all. To learn more about the Social Security benefits formula, get the free publication, Your Retirement Benefit, How It Is Figured, in the publication section of the Social Security Administration website at www.ssa.gov, or call them directly at 800-772-1213. Hopefully that'll help you. And my last email comes from Hannah Elkabir from Elrea, Ohio, asking about a tuition deduction, and says, I'm a police officer. If I go to a law school at night, can I deduct my tuition as a business expense since it helps me better apply the law? Well, Hannah, unfortunately, the answer to your question is no. Education generally is deductible if it improves your skills in your current line of work, but not if it qualifies you to enter into a new profession. Now, obtaining a law degree qualifies you to practice a new profession as a lawyer, so the cost of obtaining such a degree generally is not deductible as a business expense. But there are tax breaks for education. Law school studies may qualify you to claim the lifetime learning credit, the tuition and fees deduction, student loan interest deduction, or other breaks. And a lot of it depends on what your employer is demanding of you and the way that you handle it. So make sure you get some professional advice before you do anything in that level. Now, having said that, I want to remind you that on my next show, that's tomorrow, Sean Lefebvre and I are going to be solving the world's healthcare problems, and we'll probably be talking about current events as well. So please tell all your friends about my show here on the RLC Broadcasting Network. And folks, don't forget to get those apps. I'd sure appreciate it.
That's our show for today. Beginning today, treat everyone you meet as if they were going to be dead by midnight. Extend them all the care, kindness, and understanding that you can muster. Your life will never be the same again. So many of our dreams at first seem impossible, then they seem improbable, and then when we summon the will, they soon become inevitable. You know, the real secret of happiness is to make others believe that they're the cause of it. Robert Cardoza Live is brought to you by blogtalkradio.com every Monday through Friday from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Pacific Time. Now, go out and make it a great day. Your host has been Robert Cardoza, the technical advisor, Matchstick Digital, and your executive producer, also Robert Cardoza.